Hello everyone and welcome back to a very exciting chess game by Akiba Rubinstein, and in this chess game his opponent is James Mortimer, a British American chess player. He was American born British chess player, journalist and playwright, and he was actually an important chess personality. He is one of the few people who witnessed the legendary match of Paul Morphy against Adolf Anderssen. And in that match, if you know the life and chess career of Paul Morphy defeated Adolf Anderssen in a spectacular fashion. It was a one-sided match and Paul Morphy easily defeated his strong opponent and became the unofficial world chess champion. So Mortimer was there. In this picture, he is playing with Joseph Henry Blackburn. So a very important chess personality. He also competed in many important chess tournaments. He had poor score usually in important chess tournaments, but he had some important individual victories in his individual games. He defeated some of the important masters in his career, such as people like Mikhail Chigorin, Zukertort, James Mason, and Tartakover, Blackburn, and Henry Bird, and Jack Maces. And he has managed to draw with Wilhelm Steinitz and George Henry Mackenzie. So he also wrote two best-selling chess books, which was published in London. Anyway, there is also a trap named the Mortimer trap in Rue Lopez. Anyway, so let's see what happened in this chess game. This was from 1907 from the Ostend chess tournament. So the legend Akiba Rubinstein had the white pieces. And also one important side note, James Mortimer was 75 years old at this time. So he was born in 1832. So this was from 1907. He died in 1911. James Mortimer died in 1911. And actually Mortimer was, let's not forget this as well, he was actually a close friend of Paul Morphy. When Paul Morphy traveled to Paris, they met and they became friends. Interesting, isn't it? So he witnessed so much. He also had a chess column in a newspaper. So Rubinstein starts the game with d4, and in this chess game, please try to find the winning move at the key moment of this chess game. And we have bishop to d3, and this is of course the call system. c5 and b3, and this is known as the Rubinstein's attack, also known as the Rubinstein variation of the call system. True, false? This is what I know. But I'm not sure. So knight to c6, bishop to b2, c takes on d4, e takes on d4, bishop to d6, and both players cancelled. Rook to e1, bishop to d7, a3, and rook over. So knight from b to d2, knight back, which was a passive move. Sometimes, just pushing the h-pawn is better, h6, or knight to h5 would be better, but this was a passive move. So black wants to push the f-pawn and remaneuver his knight. Knight in f5, queen to e2. So Mortimer is also closing the diagonal for the bishop, which doesn't look like it is ridiculous, but this is also creating a clunky position. So in here, I think Rubinstein is threatening to capture the bishop, and after queen takes knight, queen takes on e6, winning a pawn. And bishop takes on e5, this is by capturing, and not giving up the bishop would be better. Maybe knight takes first, should have been considered. And then g5, c4, knight to c7, rook over, lining the rook with the queen, knight to e7, and knight to f3, knight to g6, opening the queen and defending the g-pawn, but attacking the g-pawn again, g4, pushing the pawn and attacking the knight. So the perfect spot for the knight is d4. So knight to d4 it is. and queen to h4, playing an active move, and then f4 by Akiba Rubinstein. Not en passant, rook over, and extra defending the weak e-pawn. Queen to f2, not exchanging the queens, queen goes back, and pushing the pawn, and white has a very beautiful looking pawn chain. But in this position, white is slightly better, black has to be careful, which is not losing for black, but of course black didn't want to capture the c-pawn, because then bishop takes, and you can see that this pawn is going to be very weak, and defending that pawn is going to be difficult. So a6 and then a4. So defending on b5, more control on b5, rook to f7, and this is actually a critical moment of this chess game. Rubinstein captured the pawn, c takes on d5, and not capturing back with the pawn, because you can see that if capturing back, this d pawn is going to be a very weak pawn island, and also the f pawn is going to be weak. And in some variations, white can also push the pawn and forking pieces, so it doesn't look very safe for black. So this is why Mortimer, the 75 years old James Mortimer, captured the pawn with the knight. But in this position, so this is the critical moment that I was talking about. What would you do if you had the white pieces? So if I give you a few seconds, can you guess basically the winning move in this position for white? How should white play here in this position? Okay, so I hope you have seen knight takes on f5. Of course, this is the move. And this is also attacking the queen. So sacrificing the piece, and Mortimer accepted the sacrifice. What else? And now, can you see the follow-up? This is also important. Why did Akiba Rubinstein sacrifice his knight? What was his purpose? Can you see the follow-up? The follow-up is also very important. And okay, I hope you have seen bishop to c4. Of course, this is the move. And if moving the knight away, then capturing this rook. So knight from g to e7, but this is actually not helping much. And actually, if moving the knight, this is losing on the spot because of bishop takes on f7. After king takes on f7, boom, rook takes on d7, and black is losing. White is much better, and knight goes back, but Rubinstein simply captures, and then rook takes on d5. White is a pawn up, and bishop attacks the rook, rook attacks the queen, defending and developing the bishop with defending the rook. So capturing the rook, and white is actually creating a pass pawn. Bishop to e4, closing the dangerous open file, and then queen to d4 by Akiba Rubinstein. Well, this was actually a perfect move. He can push the pawn, he can even bring the bishop on b2 and threatening checkmate. So you can see that this is a powerful move, and black has to defend because white is threatening to push the pawn, rook over, and it is white to move. What would you do in this position again? White has won another very strong move, and that move is winning on the spot because the follow-up is going to be very strong. So can you see the next move for white? If I give you a couple of seconds, which is an extremely simple move, but I'm still going to ask this question because why not? It is going to be more challenging. So this is what Rubinstein played, queen to c4, of course, check, and this is a deadly check. And whatever black does, black is losing actually. So we have king to g7, but the other possibility is losing for black because of, did you see the move? Queen to c8, of course, check and winning the rook. So this was a very strong check. After king to g7, Rubinstein played another very strong move, and that is, did you see the move? I hope you have seen bishop to b2, of course. And after this move, Mortimer resigned. And the possible continuation, if king to g6, then check and winning the rook. The other possibility and the second legal move, if king to f8 and we have check and we still have the same check and the same scenario, black is losing the rook and the chess game. So whatever black does, black is actually losing the rook after this check and checking the king with the bishop, the second check. So this is why black resigned. The third possibility is blocking with the queen, but that is out of questions, of course. So this is why James Mortimer resigned. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time with more interactive chess games. Stay safe, take care, and bye bye.